The following podcast is provided by Era Living, innovator in residential retirement options since 1987. And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders Radio Network. And again, we are so honored this week to be having Era Living be a part of our program. And I am just so excited about this guest because I know her from a previous time when I took my therapy dog, Whidbey, into her community not too long ago. And we went and visited these amazing residents and they asked a million questions. And this lady makes everything happen with life enrichment at University House in Issaquah. And Susan Strand, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
You know, you are a busy lady, obviously, Susan. And what is a life enrichment director first? What does that mean?
Oh, life enrichment director. We call ourselves the fun team. So
yeah,
So we're the group that provides all the fun. So we handle everything on our big activity calendar, scheduling all the great stuff for our residents to do every day. We also handle transportation, so personal transportation. I have an amazing team of people. And we're there for our residents, for ideas and getting to know them. We're a big part of their lives. We see them, a lot of them every day. So
yeah. And I'm assuming that there's a lot of planning that goes on to putting together the activities. I guess my question is, how do you even begin and how do you structure activities in a senior living community?
Yeah, good question. Era Living has a standard of activities that we like to see on a calendar. So it was a well thought out, a lot of people with great experience put together a list of things, and it's a great place to start. So it's a list of things that provide mind, body, and spirit connection for all our residents. And then my favorite thing that I do is meet with the residents. So I meet with my residents every month. And so we start with that great base, and then I work with them to see what they want to do, right?
Oh, so cool.
Yeah, we're successful when my rooms are full, my bus is full, all of that. So I want to know what they want to do. We have a great meeting every month and bounce ideas off each other and come up with some great stuff.
You know, it's interesting. We were just talking about it in our last segment about oftentimes when people retire, they don't necessarily know what their new purpose is going to be. They tend to, they don't know what to do. And, I love the fact that you bring them into, I'd like to learn to dance. I'd like to learn to paint or sing or have a choral group or play the piano or anything like that. You provide those opportunities then. Is that correct?
That is correct. Yes.
So what are I have to ask you, what are the most unique events or parties that you've done?
So probably one of the most unique things we've done is bring in live llamas. So we work.
That's so cool.
So you mentioned, your doodles that you brought in. We also got in contact with a woman who has service llamas. And I'll be darned if she didn't bring in these two huge llamas that came right out of her back of her van. And they came in and our residents asked tons of questions about the llamas and taking care of them. And the llamas were so fantastic. And so they stood there, they walked around the room, and then the residents took selfies with them. It was so
I love it.
Yeah, it was
really love it.
Yeah, so that was unique. And that day I was like, wow, this job is crazy. Llamas in there.
Well, and the thing is, I'm sure you're sitting there saying, how am I going to top this next? Right?
Exactly. It's
so what
true.
are some other kinds? Do you do like parties? Do you do, tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So some of the most popular things would definitely be when I bring in music and we have a happy hour. We bring in appetizers. The residents love that. So it could be celebrating something we're celebrating during the month, a holiday, or it could just be a regular old happy hour where we get everyone together to socialize. So
Mm-hmm.
they absolutely love
Mm-hmm.
those.
Yeah.
And I'll say too, at Issaquah, we really enjoy our lectures. So if I can get a good lecture in, they love that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you say a lecture, like what type of lectures?
Yeah, so we have all different types of lectures. So some of our more popular series are art history, music history. We have a
Mm,
fantastic gentleman who comes in to do a philosophy series.
nice.
So yeah. And then we learn about rocks, we learn about birds, you name it. We
All
do.
that good
They love
stuff.
it.
All
Yeah.
that good stuff. Well, and that's the thing that maybe somebody can't travel anymore, but you talked about like history, being able to, take a trip through the Louvre, video tour or something like that. I'm sure you do a lot of that type of stuff. Right. That's right.
Absolutely. We have folks that come in and talk about travel and bring in
Mhm.
pictures. And then again, with the art history lecture, lots of different, almost like a tour through a period of time and the pieces in the
Mhm.
museums. So
Mhm.
it's fantastic.
So obviously, when you do these lectures and things like that, it gives people something to share together. They learn more, they have more dynamic with each other, and that probably helps to cement like the happy hours. They probably become really good friends through these activities, do they not?
Absolutely.
Tell us a
So
little bit about, people will say they've got happy hours. It's like, you darn right they have happy
yeah,
hours.
absolutely. Yeah, I think that our activities, whether it's a lecture or a happy
Mhm.
hour or an art class, a
Mhm.
painting class, is an opportunity for our residents to connect. And
Mhm.
I feel like that's a big part of our
Yeah.
job is
Yeah.
to provide purpose and connection for our
Mhm.
residents.
Mhm.
And that's what happens. And so then they
Yeah.
go to dinner and talk about, did you hear that lecture? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
I didn't know that
I
about
didn't know that.
XYZ. It's interesting
Exactly.
too, because I've been doing a lot of prep because of a new series we're going to start in June. But one of the things that really fascinates me is on the foundational principles of wellness. There is sense of purpose every day, needs to have, but it's also the social wellness and the mental, intellectual wellness. It's exercising your mind. And so you really cross over into all three of those areas. Are you really mindful when you plan things out that you make sure that you touch those areas?
Yes, absolutely. And when I talked earlier about our standards at Era Living
Mhm.
for our calendar, that those are the things that are touched on. So
Uh-huh.
mind, body, spirit, and spirit being connection,
Hmm.
volunteering,
Yeah.
all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
So yes, I am mindful when
Yeah.
I put that calendar together, that there's a wide variety for everyone and we're hitting on all those things.
And it's really, I think, one of the things that goes into is having meaning in your life, having things that you can look forward to, and those are things that are so important. And you guys talk about lifelong learning, and I think that's kind of been a theme that you have. I'm assuming you embrace that in your activities, do you not?
Yes, absolutely. So it's been my experience that when I provide opportunities for our residents to learn, and that can
Mhm.
be lots of different ways, but when
Mhm.
I provide those opportunities, that's when I have great attendance and that's when I have the best feedback. So
Yeah.
I'm providing, so those could be obviously lectures where they learn something.
Mhm.
They could be a super cool outing where we go to a behind the scenes tour, or this one was good. This was a tea pairing. We went and learned about tea and they paired the
Nice.
tea with cheese and chocolate. So,
Lovely.
that's so something different. And always providing new opportunities and new experiences,
Mhm. Mhm.
as well as learning. We do offer some art classes and a creative writing class. So for those that maybe
Nice.
didn't have the time before or didn't know
Mhm.
they were good at those things or wanted to pursue those, we have those too.
Yeah. And I remember at the end of my father's life, he wrote his own story, of his life. And I remember being like, wow, there was things that it was in his life that I didn't even know about. And I'm sure a lot of these activities gives families an opportunity to connect with things about their older loved ones, senior loved one, that they didn't even know about.
Yeah.
Do you find that happens a lot?
Yes, absolutely. Definitely this time in their life, they have the time, and then they also have the perspective now and understand that would be meaningful to leave for their loved ones. So that is definitely where our creative writing class kind of leads them. And that's been fantastic. They've shared some of that with us, and it's great.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
And you specifically are at University House Issaquah. Can you give us a little bit about your community, where you're located, and how do we find you?
Yes, we are located in Issaquah, and if you're familiar with Issaquah, we're located very close to the Fred Meyer Home Depot area. You can locate us on eraliving.com and check out our University House Issaquah information, our activity calendars on there. So I definitely encourage you to click on that activity calendar and see what kind of great stuff we have.
And Susan, you do independent and assisted living, is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah.
Independent
and just for everyone that just wants to understand what assisted living is, that's helping with day-to-day activities. Is that correct? Just give you kind of for example, activities of daily living, things like that, medication management, things like that.
Correct. Yes. So we do have assisted living available. We have a wellness team that can provide all types of different assistance. So there'd be all kinds of different levels, whatever that individual needs. They could meet with our wellness team and we can help them in their same room. So it's nice in our community if they come in as an independent living individual and do end up needing some assisted living services, they stay right in their same room and can get all of that assistance that they need.
Perfect. Susan, it's been so great having you on the show. And we're not done yet, everyone. We've got more information on Era Living right after this. Era Living is locally owned and operates 8 premier retirement communities in Seattle, Renton, Mercer Island, Bellevue, and Issaquah. From vibrant, independent living to compassionate assisted living to secure memory care, Era Living respects and honors older adults by enhancing the quality of their lives. Learn more at eraliving.com.